Unfortunately, rental car companies are adding some new technology that could add hundreds of dollars to your next rental car bill above and beyond what that base rate is. And what they're using this new technology for is to find little dings, little scrapes that a human inspector might have said, that's normal wear and tear, but that's not what's going on. Let's jump in. This is an article from Car and Driver that tells us more. The title is Hertz is using AI to scan your rental car for damage, and it might cost you. And the article goes on to say, Hertz is introducing scanners that use artificial intelligence to scan our cars before and after they're rented to more accurately and quickly access damage to determine damage. And you can see from this photo here, which is the company called UVI, which is a company that Hertz is using. This is the AI scanner. So we drive through it. It takes hundreds, if not thousands, of pictures when we first rent the car. And then when we bring it back, it checks it again. And here's why I say it could cost us hundreds of dollars in addition to what we're already paying. There's a report from another company called The Drive that said a reader who experienced the system was asked to pay $190 in processing and administrative fees to repair a roughly 1-inch scrape on a wheel. Now, something like that with a human inspector, the human inspector might have said, it's normal wear and tear and it's okay. So now with these scanners, it's all about revenue enhancement. And there's extra fees to offset the cost of the technology. It's not just what Hertz is going to pay to repair, but it's what Hertz is paying in this partnership, the processing and administrative fees. We're going to find out more about that in a minute here. The technology uses cameras and machine learning algorithms to comb over the vehicle's body, glass, tires, and undercarriage for damage and maintenance issues. And according to The Drive, the customer dropped off the car at the Atlanta airport and received a damage report identifying the scuff within minutes. The report listed charges $250 for the repair, a $125 processing fee, and a $65 administrative fee. Now, if I crack a windshield or something like that, I don't expect the rental car company, and I'm not calling out Hertz on any of this. We're going to have this technology here fairly soon, I think, across all rental car companies. And if I crack a windshield or do some damage or, the door gets dinged and it's going to cost Hertz $250 to fix it, I don't begrudge them that, right? That's my responsibility. But to charge on top of that $250, $190 for the technology that caught it, when, they had a system that worked, which was humans checking in cars. Now, according to this Car and Driver article, they reached out to Hertz, and a Hertz spokesman said that the company decided it's fair to address these costs directly with the customers who caused the damage rather than fold it into the base rental price for all customers. Now, high level, as I said, I think that's fair, but the challenge with that is it's an unknown for us, right, when we rent a car. When it's rolled into the base rate and we're trying to decide between different companies, we can make an accurate comparison and make a decision, who do we want to rent from? But, if they don't disclose to you that there's going to be almost $200 in processing and administrative fees, that's a lot of money. Let's say you rent a car for 2 or 3 days and the bill's $200, $250, $300. To have another $200 tacked on top of that is a big piece. Now, I want to talk more about the technology and what we all need to watch out for. But before we do, one of the things, what do we need to do? We need to plan for this, when we're going on vacation. And we need to plan for things like that, both for our day-to-day life, but also when we're getting ready to retire. And that's why, as a retired financial advisor, I suggest to my clients, not my clients now, but to people that ask me, don't use Excel, don't use Google Sheets to try to figure out how to do a retirement plan, to figure out how much money you need to retire. I urge you to use software that's designed for you, Technology can help us as well. We're talking about something that's gonna cost us money, but technology can also help us, and that's why the software I like, instead of building a financial plan, instead of building your financial plan yourself, to use software designed for people like you and I. The software that I like is called Bolden. I am an affiliate, so if you use this link here to explore Bolden or the link in the description, you'll be supporting the channel. Okay, let's learn more about this technology here. Back to Car and Driver. This was from a year ago. This was in July 27th of 2024, so almost exactly a year ago as I record this. The article is called UVI is Automating Vehicle Inspection. So kudos to Car and Driver. They saw this company, this trend before it became in place. The subtitle for the article is "This technology was originally developed for defense purposes, and the company's scanning tools have found a new purpose." It was an Israeli company originally intending its inspection tool, which back then was dubbed Helios, to serve as a homeland security device that could scan for explosives strapped to the underside of vehicles. And what the company said is they started to find more fluid leaks than guns or bombs, and said the chief marketing officer, and consequently the company changed its business model, shifting resources toward the automotive industry. Okay, so what do we do? Anytime we've rented a car in the past, this has been a thorn in the side. It's always been an issue between the car rental companies and the people renting the cars. Did you cause the damage? Did somebody else cause the damage? In the past, what I used to do is maybe do a 1-minute video walking around the car, just so that if I brought it back and somebody said, "Oh, there's a little dent on the bumper or the fender," or something like that, that I would have some documentation that maybe was there before. So what do? I think we keep doing that. But the other thing that I think is a bad development here is, once Hertz charges us for that, they have our credit card information. I don't know if they're automatically billing it, but how do we fight back? And how do we fight back in a cost-effective manner? If Hertz decides to charge you an extra $200, we're not gonna be able to afford an attorney to defend ourselves. So how do we defend ourselves? And I think the way we defend ourselves is by, just making sure that it's fair. And if it's not fair, then we actually vote, not just with our feet, but also with our wallet. And the next time we rent a car, we say, "I had a bad experience here." And I think that administrative and that processing fee, and I have heard this anecdotally out there once I started exploring this issue of AI being used to inspect rental cars, that processing and administrative fee is negotiable. Hertz just wants to wrap this up and move on to the next issue. So I've heard people have gotten 50% discounts on that if they settle it right away. If you enjoyed this video, one of my videos that I think you'll enjoy as well is why waiting to 65 to retire might be a big mistake. Thanks for watching this video. Bye-bye.